Hello and welcome to this episode of our program World Today, where we are having an in-depth look to the local and international press headlines. And let me welcome our guest, Dr Helmy El Hadidy, who is the president of the APSO, or the Afro-Asian People's Solidarity Organization. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We start from Ahram Online, and it's not just Ahram Online, but many of the press headlines today. And President Sisi launches Egypt's Vision 2030. And of course the program aims to revive Egypt's leading role in the Arab world, plus reviving and boosting the Arab economic, political, social, reviving Egypt until 2030. How did you view the vision? How did you view yesterday's speech by the president, which he illustrated on many challenges facing the country?
Well, he was very clear about what he was saying, about the problems of facing Egypt at the time, about the external and foreign powers trying really to stop Egypt from revival. That's one point which he was very clear in his speech. The second point was his honesty while he was talking. He's keen on doing something for the country, and he's ready to sacrifice anything for the sake of revitalization of Egypt. Third, which is the most important to me, is that he was very upset, let us say. Very angry.
Yes, it was very much so.
Yes, and this is very good too, because it made the speech a little bit stronger and harsher, and I think the time needs that. The situation in the country needs that, and the so-called chaos, politically and otherwise, needs a little bit of firmness and a little bit of strength.
The president highlighted several points in his speech. You mentioned some of them, but he also mentioned that Egypt during the past 2 years have been able to achieve what it could not achieve in decades. And he was speaking about the infrastructure, he was speaking about the energy, he was speaking about how they acted towards a country that was not stable at all, and revived all its abilities, as we can say. Egypt's Vision 2030, how significant is such a vision? Who, from your point of view, should be or could be monitoring and observing this vision? From your point of view, we all know that in Egypt there are plans put by presidents and by cabinets and governments, but when those go, plans go with them.
Things stop.
So how can we make sure that the sustainability of such plans and visions and strategies to be implemented, and that our children will really benefit from them?
You touched a very important point, as a matter of fact. First of all, we have to institutionalize whatever plans we have. It is not a one man's vision. It is an institution supported by the people, observed by the people, criticized by the people. That brings me to the point that we have to have a very important, solid, united, popular front. Without that, you cannot guarantee anything. So, united, solid people's front is very important, and we should work very hard on this point. Second, any plan should be institutionalized. It's not left for a minister or a president or anybody. It is the institution which is responsible for it. That is the way to achieve, to fulfill, and to reach your goals.
Another main point, the President also highlighted that he prioritized youth's needs in this upcoming stage. He was speaking about many of the programs and initiatives that were launched for the youth, including the BLP. Also, during, or rather before the President's speech, there was the Prime Minister and the Minister of Planning and the Governor of the Central Bank, who said that upon the instructions of the President, there have been a program launched for youth in order to fund more than 350,000 projects for small and medium, or rather, if we can say small and micro enterprises. He said that 5 billion pounds have been allocated for these projects. I mean, how important tackling youth is with what they need in their upcoming stage? How can we make use from the richness, the real richness of this country, which is youth? Yes.
Well, let us agree about one point, that it is not only the youth, it is the whole country. Whatever is done for any group of people would benefit all the others as well. That's number one. Number two, that youth is the main active power, working power in any country. The youth in any country is the basis for action. The old people like myself might have some ideas in mind.
Experience, all the experience.
Experience for some reason or other, but youth is they are the driving force of the country. Not only the driving, the acting force as well. And I agree with anything that might be done for them. But we need to incorporate them in a whole society. They don't feel that they are very special. I don't want that. I need them to think they are part of a whole, and they are working together for the sake of Egypt.
Very much indeed. And the vision, or Egypt's Vision 2030, was just launched, or officially launched yesterday. This vision, we know, of course, that it has been worked on since 2014. And after, of course, the completion of all the institutions of the country, presidency, cabinets, and parliament, it was officially launched. Moving on to the daily news, and Prime Minister inaugurates new shipping lane off Port Said. And it says giant ships will cross the 5.5 kilometer long lane without passing through the Suez Canal, and the shipping lane facilitates the international trade, maritime and navigation for vessels, as it is 18.5 meters deep and 250 wide. What is the significance of this new lane? How is it going to really facilitate the international trade?
First of all, I would like to mention one thing. That's the big pyramid of the time. It just helps to increase and improve our ego, that we had something in mind and we fulfilled it. That was needed by the people and for the people. That's one issue, political issue. Second, it would facilitate trade between the West and East. Especially so if we consider the idea of Chinese president of the Silk Road, and it could be used, the Suez Canal could, joining the East and the West.
Well, we're speaking here about this new lane in Port Said.
That facilitates the trade, the movement of the ships, no delay. And this would help very much the easiness of passage of trade and material from Europe to the East. The whole aim of this is to make it fast and without any delay, because time is money for any trade.
Definitely, definitely.
It is very important. As I said, this is an economic project. This is a political raising of the ego of the people, fulfilling something and doing it. Thirdly, it would create a lot of jobs around it. And if we can make use of this properly, that could be a mine of gold for Egypt.
Let me ask you, sir, about the mega projects that have been launched during the past period. This is one of the mega projects. I mean, yes, it existed before, but now it took its final shape.
A different shape.
Mega projects that were launched in the past period, and many spoke about how important were they, or how significant they were, and were they important to the Egyptian scene, or did we had only to deal with the medium size projects, yes, or even that we can deal with medium and small size projects in parallel to the mega projects, but the mega projects would take more lengthy time. How do you view this theory?
Well, I'll be very, very clear on that. First of all, you cannot talk about the roads and establishing the roads and the infrastructure as can be delayed. No trade, no movement, no progress without good roads connecting each and every part of the
roads and bridges and infrastructure at large. Yes,
that's the transportation for movement of people and objects. That's one of the major plans that is being done. Second is the 1.5 million acres of land for dams to be reclaimed from the desert. I think this is very important. We have been living on a small area of cultivable land, and we are increasing at a very high rate. So we are doubling our
population
consensus very rapidly. So we need a source of food production, and this is very important. The third is the new capital. This I really feel hesitant about saying that it was very essential today. It could have been postponed for some time. These are the three main...
No, and the Suez Canal?
The Suez Canal was very essential. It is a productive job. What I say is the roads are very important for everything. Number two, the Suez Canal was very important as a project for increasing the income of Egypt. And the third is the land that is being reclaimed is very important for food production in the future. But as far as the new capital, I would personally think that it could have been delayed for a few years. Nothing would harm Egypt so badly if it has been delayed.
Well, of course, that's your point of view, and that should be put into consideration and even respected Moving on to regional issues and the Daily Star, 100 Libya Member of Parliaments back unity government and demand new vote. And it says the majority of the lawmakers from the Libya internationally recognized parliament said they supported a UN-backed unity government but had faced intimidation before a confidence vote. Yes, we've been waiting for the announcement of a lineup of a Libyan government, but and week after another, and it is always delayed. That makes me raise big questions on the ability of the Libyans to form a real government, whether or not they are UN sponsored. So how do you view the situation here?
I feel and I view it as a very bad sign, not having a government so far. They should have a government to start building their country. But I think because of foreign interference, things are not working very properly. They need to have a government. They cannot function without a government. And the country needs to be rebuilt. The people need jobs and safety and security. So a government is very important.
Now, when we're speaking here, or what the piece of news says here, it's that the majority of lawmakers from the Libya internationally recognized parliament. What about the other side, the Tripoli one, and what about the other tribes in Libya? How complicated the situation in Libya is?
The situation in Libya is very, very complicated. Too many fictions and too many arms in the fire, you know, and they don't agree about anything conjointly. In spite of the fact that their country needs a government, they are still not willing to accept, not willing to vote for it, not willing to agree to it. They can agree to it and then let it go, let it work, and then they can vote against it at any time if they are not doing well. But there should be a government. And 100 votes is not enough to form a government. They had to unanimously support a government so that they can start building their country, start having a secure country, a safe country, and let the chaos that they are living in should stop, should have an end.
How far do you view world trials towards finding a solution to Libya is serious enough?
Well, Libya now is it's a very hard situation. Interference by foreign power was caused a big change in Libya. You know, the NATO started a long time ago, and you know, they are still working outside in Libya, still international voice taking place, trying to organize a government which has not been done for a long time. And I think foreign interference is one of the reasons it has been delayed that much. Second, terrorism is another fact. Third, the spread of weapons in the whole country.
Enormously, yes, very much indeed.
All these factors are causing
the destabilization of the country. Yes.
And the disagreement between the people. So, unless this is cleared, I don't think there is any hope.
Yes, I have only 2 minutes left for me here, but this is an important headline here, and it says, from Khalij Times, and Putin discusses Syria settlement with Iranians and Saudi leaders. This is the headline. With Iranians and Saudi leaders. So we're speaking about a kind of, or are we speaking here about a Russian mediation between Saudis and Iranian, and where that would lead? Because the two parties, or rather the three parties, have the real solution for Syria here.
I don't think so. First of all, Iranians are supporting al-Assad with Russia. Saudi Arabia is not supporting al-Assad.
Yes, definitely. But here is Russia mediating the situation.
Yes, they are mediating, but it doesn't mean they are successful yet. And I don't think they will be successful. There are a lot of deep differences between them. Aims are different, and their policies are different. So, how can they?
Interests are different and sects are different. Yes, very much indeed, but let's wait and see how can Russia really mediate, and would that lead to any kind of, thinking of mutual interests instead of thinking of...
I hope so soon, because the problem in Syria is much, much graver than that.
Yes. And only the people that
are suffering.
The real ones to suffer. Yes, very much indeed. Unfortunately, our time is out. I have to end it here. Dr. Helmy El Hadidy, President of the APSA, or the African Asian People's Solidarity Organization. I thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, many thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the top stories coming right after this program.